Swazdala, everybody. Merovingian here, and today I'm gonna upload your 10% info. We're gonna give you a Excal Umbra guide of how to use them and all the little cool things he's got in his toolkit. Now, with him, you will be getting a new mechanic. Now, if you haven't finished the War Within and you don't want to know any spoilers, just go ahead and click off. Watch one of my next videos coming up. But with the new mechanic that you get with Umbra is whenever you transfer out of him with your operator, the Warframe itself would become sentient and start traveling around the tile set and killing enemies by himself using his abilities, and most of the time he just uses his radio howl, I've noticed. But he will actually kill enemies, and while he's in this state he becomes immortal, so that's a cool little thing. And then like I said, he will use his abilities, so you'll be able to benefit off of the radial house. I don't think he'll use his exalted blade, but everything else is fair game for the sentient Umbra when he is out. Now, his first ability, there is just a basic, first ability, the slash dash. You can mod this to be a kind of teleport, like you would use for Loki. Not the same like teleport like that, but fast travel, and something like Nova, not as useful as Nova or anything, but I'll show you that and how to use that. The radial howl, just like the radial blind on the regular Excal, except this will also shred the sentient resistances that are built up to your weapons. Whenever you're fighting them, you'll be able to do the radial howl, and it will cleanse them of all the resistances. Now, then you have the radial javelin, which is very good for crowd control early on, lower level missions and maps. But the only downside to this is it has a limited number of javelins that will come out. I think the max number is 12, and that's not very high. But the damage on it is very good. As you can see, the damage on mine right now is just 2,700. I'm not even close to being maxed out on my strength. You have the Exalted Blade, which is going to be the most popular, the most used ability probably you're going to use on him, except for maybe the Radial Javelin, or the Howl, I'm sorry. The Exalted Blade is just a mass killer. Anything that you hit with it is going to go down, and I usually just, set my builds up so I can just spam his fourth and just run around with that, just killing, just because it's so effective, and we'll show you why. So with the first build, I'll show you his first ability and how to kind of use that. You'll max out the range, efficiency, and duration. Efficiency isn't so important if you put the flow on, but I don't have flow, so you'll just want to max out range and duration. This is just to get around, the planes, stuff like that. If you want to, move around fast, you don't want to go in with a Nova or something. Also, there used to be a mechanic on some of the old maps on Earth where you'd be able to get above the tree canopy and kind of just go over the whole tile set wherever you wanted to, and really quick and crazy. There's some videos on YouTube that you can check out, but here it is. You can just use the aim, and then you'll just spam his first. Now, if you do it just like this, you'll notice it'll be a downward arc degree that you'll go into that you can't get away from. It's just about like a 30 degree, and you go straight to the ground. Now, to counteract that, you can aim and then do it, and that will give you a lot more distance. The same thing can be done just in jumping. So you'll do your regular bullet jump, aim, and then spam the first. So we'll bullet jump, aim, spam first. And as you can see, you can go ridiculously far. So yeah, that's one little cool way of getting around instead of using your regular Nova or something like that. So next build is going to be your Umbra Life build. Now this is what I use for most of your um, end game type content and stuff like that, where you need a bunch of strength and armor, and I have the prime flow on there to keep my exalted blade always up. And then I have the God Umbra. Now the God Umbra is more for just going into a quick mission where you don't need tons of armor and stuff, and you're just gonna spam your exalted or your javelins for lower level missions. This is what I use, and just run through crash using javelins and your blade. Both of these use the chromatic blade, which is going to enable you to change the status type that you're able to put on it, like red for heat, blue for electric, white for cold, and green for toxin. This also gives you a 50% status increase, so that's very useful. And you'll talk to pretty much any Excal main, and they will tell you chromatic blades a must on their builds. So we'll do the life one. I'm going to show you real quick what the benefits are to this, and we'll go ahead and get my energy up. And right now it's just a chromatic blade, a status build. You can use a crit build on it too, but I find the status build works the best. As you can see, these are 125 heavy gunners and seekers, and they just melt down with this. And once you proc them with that status, the drain's crazy. And you can see they're not procced with status right here, so this is damage to the skin. Now they are. Now he's got that toxin on him. He's got the toxin as well. Right next to his name, you can see the crossbones. So now it's gone away. So we hit him again. You can see the downward arc on the blade as well. You remember from the radial, the dash that you get. That same kind of thing goes into the blade. You'll get a downward arc of about 25-30%. So you can aim above their heads and still hit them because of that little thing. Now if you aim at the head, it usually hits about the knees or the midsection, depending on how far away you are. The farther away you are, the little bit different it is. Actually no, it stays about the same. And then of course you have the javelin. You can see it does 1,000 damage, it ticks. And then you have your radial howl, which just blinds them. And that is based on length of duration, however long they stay blinded. So that is Excal. Tell me what you think. And for the mod setup that I was using for the video, on the weapons and the Warframe, you have the speed build, which I just maxed out my, of course you have all your Umbra mods. Overextended for range, strength's not important. Natural talent is important to give you that faster casting speed of his first, to give you a quicker rate and to stay up in the air. Augur reach for more range, the stretch for more range, and continuity for more duration. So that's that build. The arcanes don't matter on that. Then you have the God Umbra, which is the one I use just to run in missions real quick, kill everything, and run out. I just do this really for alerts. You have your rifle amp, enemy sense, Umbra mods, streamline for efficiency, chromatic blade of course, redirection for more shield, transient fortitude for a little bit more strength, and then blind rage for more strength. And then you have the life Umbra, which gives you more armor, energy, and a little bit more sprint speed. You give now, if I had the option and the time, I'm going to put a formant in this and make this a negative polarity, so I can put corrosive projection in there. That's 30% and an enemy armor reduction. So that is planned to be done. But then you have your Umbra mods, Chromatic Blade, of course, Armored Agility gives you more armor, Prime Flow, very important to keep your Chromatic Blade spammed, Transient Fortitude for strength, of course, and Blind Rage for strength. Tiburon, one of my favorite weapons. I have 3 different things you can do. You can build it for a crit or a stat. They have a burst, semi, and a full auto. The semi and auto are the only ones I use. The semi is for the crits. The auto is for the status. Now the crit build is, as you see, crit multi-shot, bladed rounds, hammer shot, more multi-shot, punch through, critical damage, critical chance, and just your base damage. The stat build is Serration, heat, magazine capacity, hammer shot give you critical damage, critical chance or stat chance, more multi-shot, toxin status chance, heat status chance, and multi-shot making it a gas. Gas is pretty much what I use all the time for everything, just because it's so versatile. Queen Gricadas, I love these weapons. Huge crit. You have the prime heated charge, stunning speed for reload and status chance, more damage with the auger pack, sharpened bullets gives you more critical damage, pistol gamut, which gives you more critical chance, target cracker gives you more critical damage, and those are only filled up halfway, so I got a little bit more to go and get a lot more out of that. Barrel diffusion, multi-shot, and your base damage mod. So there's that. The Galantine Prime I just have on here. I don't have a good build for it. Now, the reason I have it on here is because Excal and Excal Umbra do bonus damage and bonus speed whenever they're using sword types. And that'll be machetes, swords, rapiers. So keep that in mind. I usually try to match them up with a sword just so you get that little bit better efficiency. And then the Exalted Blade, you have 2 types. The status type with the Umbra mods, Spoiled Strike, critical damage, heat status chance, toxin status chance, heat, and then more toxin to give you that gas. And then the crit build, Umbra mods, Spoiled Strike, Volcanic Edge for toxic or heat, critical damage, speed, and then toxin to give you that gas again. Now the status is the best build. I've found the be on it, best use, most damage. So go ahead and try that one. If you found anything else better out, give it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the video. Give it a thumbs up. Thanks. Merovingian out.